think I belong here. I don't think I fit in.
Oh, nonsense. Of course you do.
Oh, no, I mean it. I mean it. It's just somebody must have goofed if I gotta stay here another day.
Peace! It's Professor Griff, public enemy, the ex-minister.
Which means it's too strong.
All right, greetings, family. This is Professor Griff, and of course, this is Serious Minds Are in TV. Let me switch screens. All right, hold on for 1 second. All right, let me do this here, right here. All right. All right. Thank you all very much for joining me this evening, and we're going to be talking about the idea of the question, rather, what creates a mass shooter? I've had this discussion several times with several people. In the midst of this particular discussion, I got a message from my man Doc, Mr. Dexter Piggins, my man Doc from Still Standing. All right. And the question was asked in the particular article. It says 2 professors found what creates a mass shooter. Will politicians pay attention? We're going to be diving into that and much, much more. Shout out to my man, Mr. LP, the fire medic. All right. Shout out to everyone that supports the platform. Really appreciate everyone. We're on kind of late, but nonetheless, we're on. Quan, what's good with you? Got Quan S in the building. All right. Smart Pharmacy showing up. All right. I'm going to need everyone to kind of help me dive deep so we can answer this particular question. The thing that kept coming across my my mind was this idea of when you go into the beyond what alphabet boys, the news channels have to say, and you start to look into it. Like, for example, the gentleman who choked our brother on the subway in New York, and I said to myself, I wasn't going to cover those particular stories simply because it just seems like nowadays it's murder, death, kill on the news all the time, everywhere we go. Murder, death, kill. Everywhere every time you turn around, it's either a mass shooter or something tragic happening, and someone's always getting murdered. There was something that bothered my soul and my spirit, as it always does, is when you find these fake ass Christians. All right, I'm not talking about the real ones. I'm talking about these fake, corny dudes that ain't never did anything for any of our young brothers in the hood to try to help them out. They not the basketball coach. They not the boxing coach. They not the quote unquote Jegna or the mentor. They not on none of these things. They just get on YouTube and run their mouth. I wish I could remember these imps' names. But they always want to run down statistics and show you videotapes of how it's only black men doing this. And it's disheartening because a few times when I had time on my hands, I answered some of these clowns, either on Instagram or on TikTok. And I said, well, I offered them money to come to the table and prove what they're saying. Prove what they're saying. And I could show them in any other community some of the same things are happening and worse. While these same individuals will not pull up any data, statistics, or video footage showing this happening with any other people. And it is happening. It's happening in the white community. It's happening in the Latino or AKA Hispanic community. It's happening in the black community. It's happening in different communities. But when you find these kind of imps, still that simp written across his forehead with a capital I. And I just said to myself, wow, he's a Christian something on YouTube. And I'm like, bruh, you're killing me. So rather than exacerbate the tensions and kind of dive into what the issue is, which we already know what the issue is, you push the narrative and you have the same talking points as the white media, which is sad. All right? So, thank you, Doc, for sending me the article. And the article is, and you can look it up for yourselves if y'all are watching this, 2 professors found what creates a mass shooter. All right? What creates a mass shooter? All right? So we're going to dive into that tonight. And by the way, this gentleman was talking about how we are our own worst enemy. So I'm going to go out on a line tonight, and I want you to support that particular idea or that thought. In a few minutes, we're going to be together. And I want you to give me some data and some proof that we are our own worst enemy. All right? Don't talk out of emotion. All right? Give me actual facts. Don't talk out of emotion. All right? And I need you to tell me, why aren't any other people that commit the same crimes with one another and against one another, why aren't they their own worst enemy? So we are our own worst enemy and we're everyone else's worst enemy. Wow. Okay. So where have I been? Right here. I truly have. All right. Here we go. Mass shooters overwhelmingly fit a certain profile, says Jillian Peterson and James Densley, which means it's possible to ID and treat them before they commit the violence. Mass shooters overwhelmingly fit a certain profile. You watching of ISI, CSI, PSI, FBI, there's about 900 cop shows. You watched them all right? You spent late nights binge watching these shows. Mass shooters overwhelmingly fit a certain profile. Yet Negroes will come on and leave me smart aleck ass, sarcastic ass comments under my my clips, letting me know, in case I didn't know, that it's all black people doing this. There ain't nobody else doing this. You're right, Quan. So let's dive into it then. If mass shooters are overwhelmingly fit a certain particular profile, what profile is that? All right, now these are professors saying this, not the professor or not a professor, Professor Griff. All right, they said that they can ID and treat them before they commit the violence. Each time a high-profile mass shooter oh, that was you, LP. Oh, okay. I thought it was Doc. So both of y'all shot, not both of y'all, man. Thanks, Mr. LP, the fire medic. Thank you. Each time a high-profile mass shooting happens in America, it's a grieving and incredulous nation scrambles for answers. Who was the criminal, and how could he usually have committed such a horrendous and humane act? Let me just say this here. When have these people not created, but committed these particular acts? KMG Crowder, you said, unfortunately, they are not being treated before the violence happens. None of these shooters seem to be treated or ID'd. I think that's what the article is saying. These professors are saying they know how to ID them and then treat them. So you're jumping ahead. All right. So hold on for a second. All right. A few details emerge about the individual's troubled life, and then everyone moves on. Why does everyone move on? Because it's under the assumption that little Johnny doesn't do things like that. It's those other people that are the bad people. My little Johnny wouldn't do that. While the profile fits little Johnny perfectly, but yet these particular individuals are never looked at simply because we always want to make someone else out to be the bad guy. Everyone else is bad except little Johnny. So Shawnee Black, you says, I think privilege could indeed play a major factor. If it is white privilege and the Karens of the world are protecting their sons from this kind of stuff, when they first, commit the smaller crimes and they get the slap on the wrists, or they don't get suspended, or they don't get a harsh punishment, or they don't get fined, or nothing really happens to them, they tend to think that the world revolves around them and they are the center of it all. And everyone speaks to their existence. And this is the issue that I have with the black Negroes, the Negropeans that come on and leave me these silly messages. So when I ask them to prove it and step up to the plate, and I'll even offer them money, I never hear back from these individuals. I never hear back from them. 3 years ago, Jillian Peterson, an associate professor of criminology at Hamlin University, and James Densley, a professor of criminal justice at Metro State University, decided to take a different approach. In their view, the failure to gain a more meaningful and evidence-based understanding of why mass shooters do what they do seemed a lost opportunity to stop the next one from happening. So what do we do? Not we. What do you do? Because I don't. We blame the gun. We blame the knife. In this case, from what I've seen over the last year, you have to blame the vehicle because they're running over people and killing people with cars now. So what do? You ban cars? How does that work? You set up legislation and laws to ban people from driving cars. Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. Nama Israel. Shalom, Queen. S.L. Smith, thank you for the buck. Really appreciate that, man. Dollar go a long way, bro. These mothers know their children sit around killing animals and tyrants in their neighborhoods. Exactly. Exactly. They know exactly what's going on. Yeah, they're going to start banning everything. They're going to start banning screwdrivers, and they're going to start banning slingshots and toothpicks, and it's a ridiculous kind of approach. Just first of all, you're just not this. If you understand what built this particular country, you're not going to ban guns like that. You're talking about raising the age on which they can buy. Johnny is building them and putting guns together in his basement and in his garage. Johnny is building guns in his garage. Peace, Imhotep was good with you. No. So I guess I'm supposed to be using the YouTube politically correct language. Yeah, Johnny's been unaliving people for a long, long time. But if these two professors came up with a way to identify these particular individuals and treat them, rather than dumping money where the signal, because this is the kind of language that they don't want. Billions of dollars into a defense budget and giving Ukraine $100 billion. I didn't say 100 million, 100 billion with a B. Divide up that police officers, allocate some of that money to a social workers program, community program that actually work. Identify those individuals that have already done the outreach program in the communities that they live, and people respect them and they respect the people of the community. It starts right there with community and then community policing. Not with guns and batons and pepper spray and dogs. If post office, listen. All right. I'm not being extra hard on police officers. I got some police officers that are my friends. But we just have to be real. You raising the age limit on someone purchasing a gun, bro, you putting a damn Band-Aid on a cough. How is that going to work? And then on the other hand, I'll be very real. Some of y'all might not like this, but it is what it is. I think when some of these badass little kids are out on the street committing these violent crimes, you need to hold their parents responsible also. Where the hell is Johnny's mom? Where's Taquavius's mom and dad? When you carjack somebody and you shoot somebody. Ernest Grant, you're absolutely correct. $100 billion can solve a lot of problems in the neighborhoods across America. But they don't funnel that money to the black neighborhoods in America. I'm skipping down. It says the finding also published in a 2021 book, The Violence Project. Look up The Violence Project. How to Stop Mass Shootings Epidemic. Reveals striking commonalities among the perpetrators of mass shootings and suggests a data-backed mental health-based approach could identify and address the next mass shooter before he pulls the trigger. Need I read that again? Need I read that again? The Violence Project. How to Stop a Mass Shooting Epidemic. It reveals a striking commonalities among the perpetrators of mass shootings and suggests a data-backed mental health-based approach could identify and address the next mass shooter before he pulls the trigger. If only politicians are willing to actually engage in finding a real solution. Not only finding a real solution, funding a real solution. I'm trying to understand the mentality on both sides. Why do they do what they do? And then why do the politicians always institute a new gun law and infringe on your Second Amendment right? Why do they always blame the gun instead of dealing with the mental health issue in America? Let's list a few things right now as we speak, and I'm going to finish the article. Let's list a few things that may cause mental health in America. And let's get real, because I want to answer this Negro Christian. I wish I had this imp's name. Oh, cake. Anyway. Gloveless said genetics. Genetics. Okay. Genetics. Drug use. Shawnee Black said guns don't kill people. People kill people. Okay. We're naming some of the things. Genetics. Drug use. Environmental PTSD. If it's post, is there a pre? The environmental PTSD. That's kind of deep. Okay. What kind? True Earthling. What kind of abuse? Smart Pharmacy. You said the environment. What in the environment? Come on, family. This is serious minds. Not sometimes minds. Serious minds. Chemicals in everything we consume, leaving us unbalanced. Thank you, Edwin Wallace. Everything. There's chemicals in every damn thing. Everything. And you expect people, after you have a Smart Pharmacy, you should know this. After they had a happy goddamn meal, which don't make you damn happy, and that's your daily diet, and you constantly putting chemicals in your body, you think you're supposed to be balanced. So yeah, genetics play a large part of it, but how about what you do to yourself every single day? You're not going to tell me you're going to wake up in the morning and eat Captain Goddamn Crunch, Frosted Flakes and Sugar Smacks and fucking Pop-Tarts and Fruity Pebbles, whatever the fuck. Oh, excuse me, whatever. And you think you're going to go out in the world after eating McDonald's for lunch, all right, Kentucky Fried Chicken for dinner, with a soda pop, Coke, Pepsi, and the rest of that madness, and you think everything's supposed to be fine with you, and you're supposed to be balanced? No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not going to be balanced. It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So are we talking about the idea of what we are learning in school? What happened to that? I thought music, food, and school would be the three top things that y'all would mention, but nobody's mentioning music. No one's mentioning music. Who mentioned school? No one. Which one of y'all mentioned school? Too cool. You said teaching hatred of others is another indoctrination of hate. So should we not talk about what we're feeding the children? Should we not talk about the lessons they're learning in school on a subconscious level? You gotta talk about the music. Drowning Neptune, I'm not ignoring you. I see that you mentioned MK Ultra. We didn't even get to that point yet. We talking about basic things. We're not getting that deep yet. We talking about the things these people putting. Listen, 3 of those situations recently, these gentlemen were discharged from the military. Help me out, fam. Help me out. If I said that, they'll keep knocking on my door. The black boots will kick my door in and charge me with sedition, right? So it doesn't have anything to do with it. The gentleman that shot up the people at the hospital here in Atlanta got discharged from the military. The gentleman that shot up the mall in Texas and a few other people I could mention got discharged from the military. Anyway, they talk about if only politicians are willing to actually engage in finding and funding targeted solutions. Targeted solutions. These professors have found a way to get to the root of the problem. They found a way to get to the root of the problem. So what this does is their hidden agenda is being exposed. Not the 2 professors now. I'm talking about the people that want to encroach on your rights. That's interesting, Quan. Unpopular opinion, but white supremacy racists can't be reformed. Can we change the system that they operate in, Quan? If you can't reform them, Matthew Jordan, yeah, you and Greg over here on IG, y'all getting deep. We're not talking about Manchurian Candidate. We're not talking about MK Ultra, MK Delta. We're not talking mind control drugs from the CIA. We're not getting that deep. I'm talking about basic stuff. Because if you look at the news, every single night you will see Tay, Quan, Twan, and the rest of these people doing some stuff. And it's like, God damn, Twan, you and Day and Peanut and Man, what y'all doing? You heard about the 3 teenagers, I think it was Baton Rouge, shot the pregnant lady. It was a case of mistaken identity. And she was due. She was about to deliver her baby in a couple of days. So I'm saying to you, Jillian, peace. Doc, what's good, man? Jillian Peterson, on some level, we're waiting because mass shootings are socially contagious. And when one really big one happens and gets a lot of media attention, we tend to see others follow. Is that true? I swear, man. There was this dude, I don't know what his name is. I should have remembered, but I try not to remember these characters. This dude was about to go to court on sex abuse charges than dealing with minors. All right. Little girls came to spend the night at his house because they was friends, I believe, with his stepdaughter or whatever. He killed everybody. Like 6, 7 bodies buried in the backyard. Everybody. Didn't really see that on the news. I didn't see his face plastered on the news like you see some of these other situations. Yeah. So I'm saying to you, if these individuals, professors, have not the solution, but a solution to the point where they can identify and then treat these particular individuals. Because it's going to happen again. I'm not speaking it into existence. Don't get... I have conversations like this because to myself, it has to be some kind of solution. No, it has to be some kind of solutions, plural. It's not going to be one solution that's going to kind of solve this particular thing. It's just not. I'm sorry. It's not. It seems like, and tell me, has this happened to you? When you hear these things happening and they don't show you the picture of the individual, do you say to yourself, I wonder if this guy is black or white? And back in the day, according to certain times when you hear about certain crimes, you automatically knew it was white people. Am I right or wrong? I mean, help me out. Help me out. Edwin Wallace, that in some cases, yeah, but yeah, I'm just saying to you, they spend billions of dollars on keeping black people. Phaedra, is that you? Where you been, Phaedra? They spend billions of dollars every single year to keep you blind, deaf, and dumb, fat, unhealthy, and ignorant. So I think a lot of times go and we tend to look at situations and stories with a mass shooting, and the thing that automatically comes up in our mind because we want to dismiss it is we say it's either a false flag or it didn't happen or some conspiracy theory. And it is real. It is very real. Once you start getting close to home and you start knowing some of the people and this person is related to that person and, oh, that's so-and-so's cousin. And that happened to me today. There's a friend of mine's best friend's cousin's supposedly girlfriend. And I'm like, wow, you kind of figure it's only 6 degrees of separation. The crimes are getting more and more ridiculous. All right. And I'm saying, why not look into what these two professors have to say if they said that they can identify and then treat? All right. So the language that we're starting to hear now, a lot of them refer to these particular individuals as monsters and pure evil. Wait a minute. Let's go back. This is the beginning of the article. Mass shooters overwhelmingly fit a certain profile, says Jillian Peterson and James Densley, which means it's possible to ID and treat them before they commit violence. Before they commit violence, we could treat them. So then when they discovered this particular shooting at the mall and they dove into this individual's life and they started looking at social media and they started, searching his personal effects, cell phone, emails and all this kind of stuff, we start to see some white supremacist ideology. Thank you, Greg. You start to see the white supremacist ideology surfacing up now. And yeah. And do me a favor, black captains and chiefs of police and the rest of y'all that are black and you work with the police departments in these cities and these places across America. Can y'all stop with the bullshit language? I keep hearing assault weapon. No, when you fill out that form to purchase a weapon from the pawn shop, the gun shop, or whatever, or a private sale, nowhere on there where it says assault weapon. Stop, man. You're making the problem worse. So regardless if the person was Hispanic or whatever you want to call him or whatever, it's the ideology of that particular individual. Okay. This article is from Politico.com. 2 professors found what creates a mass shooter. Will politicians pay attention? That's what we're talking about tonight in the few minutes that we have left. Mr. Harry Belafonte, that might be kind of disrespectful to use that man's name. He's now an ancestor. You might want to change that, bro. But anyway, you said American and Western culture has made black folk just as violent, suicidal, and crazy as the European. We weren't always this way. Can we give this gentleman a hand? That's all I've been saying, bro. For someone to just totally blame black people, I'm not going for that. We don't make the rules. We don't make the laws. We don't make the curriculums in school. And my thing is, it's clear to me. You expect people to be centered and grounded and sane when one of the first things you do is you take the creator, God, out of the school. I'm trying to help me understand that. Help me understand that. So you're producing godless individuals that are quote unquote intelligent because you know a few facts. Socially inept, awkward, really don't know how to kind of be social. Then they go to the military and get drugged up. Vaccine after vaccine after vaccine. Oh, I done said the V word. Now y'all know they're going to shut it down. And then you discharge them and they hit the streets of America, armed with the knowledge of how to kill, because you've made them trained killers. And you wonder why we have mass shootings. Listen, family, your solution ain't, I'm going to another country. You think that's going to be your solution? And you think this madness, this ideology, this mentality is not going to affect the people where you're going? Yes, it is. Griff, I think they have mastered mind control, MK Ultra, and this is another mission accomplished. Facts. Greg said that earlier. That just goes to show you that they've been working on the American public for a long, 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 long time. How long do y'all think they've been spraying chemtrails over major cities in America? I mean, help me out. Along with MK Ultra and MK Delta. Now they've taken over all of the marijuana crops. And you know they're spraying it because now everybody wants to get high and stay high because you want to escape. And we didn't even get around to the music yet. Voodoo Glitch, what's good with you? Shout out to the great filibuster. Charles Wilson, what's up, man? Low energy, frequency, vibration, vibrations, music, religion, politics, schools of hate causes confusion, division, entertainment, brainwashing, conditioning, confusion, conformity. You're right. Jason Jones, you're absolutely correct. Politicians get paid to create this kind of confusion. It's the Hegelian dialectic principle. This is very real in what we're dealing with. I didn't realize it was so late. I'm here talking. I'm only going to be on here for a few more minutes, family. So we have to understand the dynamic in what we're dealing with on every single level. And I think we should start with the ISIS papers, and we need to deal with the 9 areas of people activity. And we need to talk about this idea of what they're doing to the environment. What are they doing to the food? Why do they keep signing the same kind of rapper with the same kind of music? Yeah. Risa Neal says drug industry, entertainment, and prisons are some of the top money makers. Yeah. So, family, let's understand this particular thing in which we're dealing with, and we have to deal with it. All right? We just have to deal with it. And I think let's come up with some solutions as we speak. If you're listening to the sound of my voice right now, the Goddess Temple of Love is where you can go. Someone asked me about the couples retreat. The goddesstempleoflove.com. Goddesstempleoflove.com is where you can go get the information. Goddess Temple of Love. All right. I think we all need to do our part. All right. Do less finger pointing and less blaming and more action. Wherever you can do it, you don't have to take on the grandiose big project. Do the small thing. Do the small thing. You don't know when and where the next mass shooter is going to show up. I can admit that I have I don't go to as many places as I often go. And when I do go to some of these places, I don't stay long. I'm not paranoid, but I'm a lot more cautious. I think the thing that I began to invest in, hold on. Hold on. All right. I think the thing that I began to invest in is my ability to be awake and aware. And I've strengthened those security kind of measures that I know that's going to keep me safe. It is truly a shame that we not only have to walk around with one gun, but now a lot of people I know, especially people that are security minded, at least have one on them and one in the trunk, or just two on them. It's like you really can't even go out to enjoy yourself. Either someone's getting shot at the movie theater, the mall, the school. Just, yeah, following you home in your driveway, wherever. The idea of keeping your head on swivel, yeah, man. I mean, that's so true. It's ridiculous. It's a very, very real dynamic. Greg, you said you would think that you were Puerto Rican with the amount of blades that you carry. Hey, I mean, it was a thing growing up. And since I was a teenager, I carried a pocket knife. So it wasn't, but I don't think I've ever, once or twice, but I don't think I've ever, maybe once or twice, used my knife in a defensive situation where I wanted to take somebody out. Okay, maybe once or twice, but I'm just saying, I've always carried a pocket knife. Always. It's just yeah. So, yeah. So, anyway, family, what is the solution? I tend to want to put my energy where these two professors, if they can identify these particular individuals and treat them before they pull the trigger, good. Now, some people have said in these comments that if they didn't have a trigger to pull, they can't pull a trigger. So you're going to make those of us that are responsible gun owners suffer because these individuals built one in their basement or their garage, or they put parts together, or they broke in someone's car or someone's home and stole one? Okay. I'm going to give you all the floor for the last few minutes. Larry Penton said, as I said, it's not a matter if, but when and where the active critical incident will occur. Not a question of if, but when it's going to happen. Do you think a person like Ron DeSantis in Florida is going to exacerbate the tensions between black and white people? If we can't even learn the truth of who we are in the school, are you disarming us to be a full, complete, productive, tax-paying citizen in America? I know I crouched that into some 2 or 3 syllable words, but can y'all help me out with that? LP, we're not even trying to get to the point where we're stopping the bleed. We're trying to stop and identify the mindset before it even happens. Some Negroes would like to say it's not a racial issue. Okay, let's just agree with you for a minute. But is there a racial component? Why do these people travel miles and miles and miles to go to places where black and brown people are and then start shooting? If it's not racially motivated, or if it does not have a racial component to it. Titus 1:9, you said, but mass shooters are messing it up for us legit owners. True. You think it's the mass shooters or the politicians or both? So I think anytime that there's an event where it's a lot of us, I think every man, every black man should be ready to defend ourselves. Plain and simple. There's a few places that I know I'm going to be where it's going to be hundreds, if not thousands of black people gathered in one place coming up this summer. I'll be in several places. Yeah. It's a shame to say that I might have a bulletproof backpack, bulletproof vest, or whatever. That's just the reality of the times in which we live, man. And to the Negroes out there, the handkerchief head, boot licking, butt scratching, butt licking imps out there that want to be apologists for white people. Say that shit, man. Matter of fact, don't save it. Pull up. Come on. Stop the madness, man. We're not going to get through this thing with people lying and making up stats and, you know, the statistics say, well, who the hell you think writing the statistics? These people that make these polls and statistics are not, they don't like you like that. Because it's their relatives who created this whole idea of redlining. Yeah, it's a system of racism, white supremacy that's going on. And do some people, black people, find a comfortable place in it? Yeah, they do. They're not trying to eradicate it. They're trying to find a comfortable place in it. And with that said, this is Professor Griff, Serious Minds, RNTV. And of course, y'all already know serious minds attract serious minds, seriously. Thank you very much for the discussion tonight. I really appreciate it. Doc, thank you. And thank Mr. Larry Penn, Mr. LP, for the article that you sent me. I really appreciate it. It's on politico.com. Two professors found what creates a mass shooter. Will politicians pay attention? And that is the question. Will politicians pay attention? Peace, Quan. Thank you very much. Thanks to everyone for participating in the conversation. I'll see y'all in a minute. As a matter of fact, see y'all on Thursday night. All right? All right, fam. We will talk. Yeah. Peace.